Hello and welcome to the Video Game Dads podcast, where three guys in a basement discuss video games, family, life, and everything in between. We have our three hosts, including myself. I'm Benjamin.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Adam.
All right. And you can find us on Twitter at Video Game Dads. Email. What's the email, Adam?
It's videogamedads@yahoo.com.
All right. And Shane, what's the Facebook?
It's facebook.com/videogamedads.
Oh, we're getting so good at this.
Yes.
We're just listing them off. We're going to get to the point where we just rattle these off and spit them out. We also have a YouTube. It's not quite set up yet, but I will have our audio in video form, which a lot of podcasters do, so you can listen to it, or most likely we'll hopefully gain some sort of audience from that as well. Send us your questions, emails. We've already gotten a couple emails.
We have gotten a few emails. We're kind of like One Direction. I think that's the name of it. At least I am. I don't know if you guys are getting.
Which one's going solo? Probably
I think Shane will be the Justin Timberlake of the group.
That's usual, yeah. And I'll get into the drugs, and
I'll set the house on fire.
Adam will be a B movie character in a couple horror films. One of us will die. Well, anyway, so we got a little feedback here and there. People, we apologize. Sometimes we're fixing all our kind of audio issues. First episode, I think I was kind of soft. Last episode, Adam was a little softer. I think we've kind of finally got our mix now and our sweet spots down. So, but of course, let us know. Any feedback would be appreciated. So now that we are on episode 2, we introduced our video game book club. Still haven't found a better name. I think we're going to stick with it.
I kind of like video game book club. I think we ought to stay with it. Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah, okay. Right. So our video game book club is basically where we go around and pick one of our favorite games. Doesn't even have to be a popular game. Can be a popular game. Most of the time we try to pick games that aren't as popular, you might not have heard of. And we try to play them for that week for as little or as long as we can, and then also invite our audience, our listeners, to play as well. And then we kind of talk about it. So last week, Adam picked a game. Adam, what'd you pick?
I forced you guys to play Bucky O'Hare. I didn't really give you much choice.
Yeah, I know you do.
On the NES.
Hey, that's okay. We like gumption in this podcast. So yeah, we ended up playing. We ended up playing Bucky O'Hare, and then we'll move on. Why don't we decide the game at the end of the podcast?
Sure.
We'll discuss it now.
We'll bring it back up at the end.
So Bucky O'Hare for the NES. Tell us again why you picked this out.
Sure. So I picked this game, primarily because it was a game that we didn't have a lot of money growing up, but we had a video game store nearby, and they actually used to. For a time, they did 5 games for $5 for 5 days. Which
good old days.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. So I would frequently get the Mega Man games, and I would also get this Bucky O'Hare game. And I played it a lot. And I actually remember when they liquidated that store, and I'm pretty sure they sold this thing for $1, back at that time. But at any rate, I played this game a lot. It was really cool, had great music, and I really liked it, even though I never got to own it.
The music is really good. Shane was playing it again, so we, if we don't have time to play it, we'll play it right before the podcast. Yeah. And the music is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, and which comes from the pedigree. It's kind of a late NES game, and I read a little bit about it earlier, but it was released in 92, so it was kind of near the end of the NES lifestyle.
That's a good
year.
Lifetime. Yeah. The year of my first car.
But yeah, so it was released in 92, and it's a Konami game, and if you think about all the Konami games...
That's what I was going to say, who made this? Is Konami? I didn't check out
Konami,
cover art too much. So.
You think about good 8-bit video game music, Castlevania comes to mind. I mean, all these old Konami games had really cool music.
There's unexpected polish. Maybe that's the way I looked at it. Because, Bucky O'Hare, what the heck is that?
It was crazy because when I was playing it, because this is my first time ever playing it, and it had different aspects of other games in it. Like, I mean, it had where you could drop down to the other levels. I think Contra does that. And you also could select players. I didn't get that far, but I watched Adam do it, where you could select players, which is like a little Samson type of deal. Like, and then what else?
It's sort of Mega Man-ish.
Yeah, Mega Man-ish, yeah.
You go in, and there's like a menu, and you can pick which level you want to play. And then, but instead of getting a power-up, you get a different character with a little bit different power, which you can switch between, which is what you're talking about with Little Samson. So it is very much like Little Samson in that way.
I think that sort of makes the difference on like one of these better like NES games is sort of like when you're able to have these extra power-ups or extra players and stuff like that. It seems like when they go the extra mile, it seems like those are the games that are really like jumping up in price right now. It's like the real basic ones, like like a Russian Attack is really basic, but that game is like a $5 game, even though it's okay game. But when they add these awesome aspects to it, man, it kicks butt.
Well, that's the thing. And Konami kind of did that. I mean, and when I think back to the NES library, a lot of my favorite old games were Konami. I mean, were Konami games. You talked about
Castlevania?
well, Castlevania, but I'm blanking.
Russian Attack,
but Contra. Sorry, Contra.
Yeah, of course.
But you think about these, and they were games that just had a little bit extra polish on them, and the sound. They just did the little bit extra stuff to make them sound good, give them a good presentation. And I actually think back to some of my favorite Konami games. I played the crap out of Blades of Steel back in the day.
Yeah, Blades of Steel. So I still remember Blades of Steel. The halftime where you could play a game inside the halftime.
Yeah, or you could fight. Like I used to Blades of Steel when you open the thing up.
Oh, it wouldn't sound like that, It's an NES, so it didn't quite get the voice as clear as you would hope. But anyway,
But yeah, me and my brothers would play it, and the whole point of like playing wasn't even to win the game; it was to see who could win the fights that happened during the game. But it's just those little things that they did that they didn't have to do that made those games memorable. Because if it hadn't been for just those couple of little things, it would be just a crappy hockey game that you wouldn't think about more than you do any of the other hockey games.
Yeah, I played that actually a lot for the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. So I had more games for the Game Boy than I had the NES. And Blades of Steel for the Game Boy is really good.
Oh, really?
It's kind of 1-to-1, I think, with the NES. Outside of course, it doesn't have color. It's that constant green-gray color. But tons of fun. That's top 5 probably handheld games I had the most hours on as a little kid.
On Bucky O'Hare, though, I do have to mention, though, it is, to me, a little stiff, though. Some of the bad things on it, to me,
it was
a
fall
little
quickly.
stiff.
The fall. Like, you can jump easily, but the quickness to which you fall, I think in most games, they don't try to be realistic, right? Because when you jump up, you got your momentum, then you kind of fall because gravity comes.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how Bucky O'Hare, I know it's like, if you jump and you kind of missed it, you're done.
And then the special charge up thing, I don't like how it's like the B button, because it should be with the jump button with the A. Like you should just be able to hold it down. Charge jump instead of crossing over and pressing B, which I thought was really weird and threw off flow for me on the game. But with that said, I mean, it's still a great game. Okay, I don't know if it's worth like the what.
I checked eBay earlier today and sold listings for card only or anywhere from $100 up to like $150.
Oh, yeah, no way.
Yeah, so it's gotten
if our viewers didn't have it, they probably did not buy it.
Emulate it, I guess, is the.
I don't know if it's $115.
Is sort of the answer.
Oh man, but really good game. Yeah, you could still emulate it. What's your favorite levels, or do you even know? You could call it the tree level or whatever. I know that's not your favorite, but favorite level?
I don't know. Probably Yellow Planet.
Yellow Planet. All
yeah.
right.
I like the tree one. Whatever one that is.
You did?
The tree one. I like that one.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I tried to zoom through it too many times. If I would actually took my time, I think I would have done better. But I was like, I'm awesome.
Yeah. It's one of those games that definitely, the more you play it, the better you get at it. Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. And eventually, I think also when we get kind of emails back, you have people kind of comment on what they thought of the game. We totally appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what other people think of it too.
Yeah, so overall, I think what we all agree, a very 5-star game, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, 4 to 5.
Yeah,
I think
I'd say 4 out of 5.
I think it's
if it didn't have that weird charge jump, I give it about 5 out of 5.
And worth playing. And I think maybe we could say, okay, this is so hard to decipher. This is a $100 game. I'm not in the boat that ever think you should ever buy $100 games and make a habit of it. But like, what do you think it's worth compared to? You'd say some games are like $5, $10. I mean, to me, it's worth like probably $50, something like that.
40. I think it's $40 good.
Yeah, no, if you could get it for that, sure.
Yeah, again, that's so subjective because it all depends on the time you're listening to this and what you think of the game as well. But I think it's worth saying because we're all collectors and we play games. I think you could kind of roughly guess, and that's worth a lot. I don't know, $40, $50 is a good price for a game because we're not going to go much higher than that, to be honest
and
with
it's
you.
I'm cheap.
Well, and it's not a particularly, at least I don't think it's a super rare game. I mean, I've seen multiple copies of it. It's not something that you never see. It's just one of those games that's kind of in a lot of hidden gems videos. People sort of have learned about it, and so everybody kind of wants it, which makes it more expensive.
It's
but
good,
it's not uber rare.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
good.
by any stretch, but it. It's worth picking up if you see it for cheap for sure.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, actually, we had it on our list. Should we just go ahead and pick the next one?
Yeah, let's
just
do
do
it
it
now.
Get it
Yeah,
out
let's
of the way,
do it.
because we don't want to forget.
Yeah.
All right. So next I'll go, and then Shane will go, and then for our fourth, we're actually going to let either you can add us at Twitter, on our Facebook group, or send us an email, and you'll let the audience pick. If it's someone who really maybe puts, you could say it. Whatever game you want and put a sentence or two, but let's say you actually sell it on us, we're going to make that our pick, email of the week. I think we'll be happy with any email.
Yeah.
that would pick a game, but honestly,
Please
that will,
send one.
yeah, we'll be random in picking it, but maybe it's a game that we're all intrigued by, something like that. Okay, so anyway, for the next game, we'll stick with the NES till we go around. So technically 4 shows, right? Shane, and then one more, and then we'll switch to another system. I'm going to pick a game that is probably going to be out of left field, which is a good way of putting it. But you guys already know, I know. Well, I told you guys like 5 minutes ago, so you guys are great actors. You really don't know what I'm about to pick. Okay, so my pick for the NES is Dusty Diamond's All-Star Softball.
Wasn't Dusty Diamond Screech on Saved by the Bell?
Oh, Dusty, yeah. It's something like that. Dusty Diamond, Dusty Trombone, whatever. Yeah.
I had no idea he was a softball player.
So, real quick, this game, I remember playing this as a kid. A friend had it. The cover of the game, right, or the label of the game looks like photorealistic, like a softball game. The game is totally not like that at all. Have either of you guys played it? Shane, you played it once?
I played it once.
Okay, and you played kind of with me, right?
Yeah,
and I even gave you my copy.
Yep,
Yeah. So I traded or gave you my copy because I ended up getting an EverDrive, and I picked mine up at, I don't know, vintage stock, a local game store maybe 6 months ago or something. Not 6 months ago, 6 years ago or something like that.
Oh
Maybe
wow!
15,
You probably got it for a decent
Yeah,
price.
yeah,
then.
I think between $15 and $20.
Yeah.
How much is it worth now? You probably know more.
Well, I don't know. I think last time I checked, I've tried to buy it a few times, but it keeps eluding me, evading
it's
me.
a good game.
It's a good game.
But I think it was going for like $40 or $50 last.
I think it's
last time I
$40,
looked it
$50
up.
And I honestly think it's worth that. So anyway, the way the game plays is you are playing and you're kind of like a Sandlot team. It is softball, but it's done by kids. So the way you pick your teams is not like a typical game where it's like, oh, I'm going to be the Pirates and it's going to already have my preset people and I maybe pick my pitcher or something. That's a normal way a baseball game works, especially in that era. This, literally, it gives you the face of all the players, like 50 of them, and you are picking them with the other person in real time. So, like, let's say I know which players I want and you don't, Shane.
Yeah, so
I'm going to pick my players super quick.
I do remember
and it's not
that.
one and back. It's literally you just go through. It's kind of like
Yeah, you're
really
pulling that cheat move on me. You're going like all fast. You're like, yeah, this guy's good. This guy's good. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, and so basically, it's kind of it's like real like sports. Like let's say you're a foreign exchange student and you don't know the team and you're captain of kickball. You're gonna pick not the people. You're gonna as much as you wanna be
So
fair.
your team or my team would end up being like the Bad News Bears.
Yeah. Well,
and yours is like the team that they play at the end.
Well,
You
here's
just smoke them.
Here's how it gets a little more interesting. I'll talk about this a little more just because it's kind of it's a different game to pick, and I'll tell you more of the reasons why. Is each player is kind of good at something, but you don't know. They don't have stats. You only know by playing. And like Sparky, I remember Sparky's good because he's a good pitcher and he pitches it fast. There's another guy who kind of looks tubby, like Augustus Gloop from Simpsons, or the guy who eats all the chocolate in Willy Wonka. What's his name? Or there's Augustus.
Augustus Gloop.
Augustus
yeah.
Gloop.
The one that gets stuck in the thing
Save
and
some
they have
room
to
for
plunge him out.
later. Yeah.
Oh, I love the chocolate.
Don't make me run. I'm full of chocolate. Yeah. Sorry, I went two voices there. But anyway, so he looks like that, but he can fly. So he's a great outfielder. And by fly, I mean you hit the B button, and he hovers in the air like Super Mario Brothers 2 Princess.
Oh, gosh.
And he doesn't go down until you hit B again. So he can catch balls that are going over the outfield wall. And, you wouldn't know that until you're out in the field and you're about to catch the... But it's funny, that's also the slide button. So if the ball's coming right towards you, you hit that button, and you just are 10 feet in the air above it, and it goes under you.
Yeah.
So, and, some people are really slow at running and can hit home runs. There's someone in there named Zelda. I don't know if that's a nod to Zelda, but she's like a witch. So I thought that was funny. The fields you play at are really different. There's one where you play at a school, so the home run is if you hit the school, but if you hit the window in the school, it's an out.
Yeah, we never got the home run, so because we're limited on time when we were playing that one time,
we were
and I was
trying
like,
to get a home run.
trying to. I was like, man, that would be so. I want to see that.
Yeah, and then another one where like if it goes off a cliff and your guy falls off a cliff, he's like gone.
Yeah.
like so.
Is he done for the whole game?
I think he's done for the
That's
whole
how you
game,
teach your
or at least
children
the
about
inning or
bets,
something.
yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, he's.
I
like,
guess we'll find out when we play. So,
yeah. So anyway, that's just it. To hopefully intrigue you to not skip this week in case you want to play. I really like it. Definitely a top 10 game. I didn't play a bunch as a kid, and it's one of those great instances where I would not have known about it unless my random neighborhood kid ended up playing that one. So we'll do Dusty Diamonds, also softball for the NES for our book club this week.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Also wanted to go around and talk about the last. It's actually been about 2 weeks since we recorded our last episode because of the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, we had our holiday.
So Black Friday's happened.
Yeah.
Some internet deals have happened. Some things have happened. So we wanted to talk about things that we might have acquired or that might have evaded us. So
Collected. Did anybody else go out before to go around? I mean, did you guys go out shopping for Black Friday? Out, or just?
I went like late in the afternoon on Black Friday.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, so I did a little.
I absolutely stayed at home.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said on the last podcast I wasn't going to go at all, but I did actually.
Lies.
Yeah, they were all lies. But did you get anything since the last podcast, Shane?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I went back to the swap meet. I took about a month off. So I went down to the swap meet and picked up a few things. There really wasn't much down there. I ended up getting like a few cheesy PlayStation 1 games, but I was happy to get a few of them. I mean, what was it? Rage? What's the heck's the name?
Primal Rage?
No, not Primal Rage. It's a racing game. Ridge, it's not Ridge Racer, it's Rage Racer.
Never.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I know.
sounds
I was
good.
like, I actually played this as a kid. You could like customize the car really. Back then, it was like customizing, super cool. Now it's like pretty basic, but I was glad to pick that up. I think it's Strike 1947. I think it's a Neo Geo game. Is it 1947 or 1945 or something? On PlayStation 1. I picked that up for $1. I think it's like $20 game, but it's totally awesome. Played it for just a little bit, made sure it worked. Trying to think. Oh, I picked up an N64 with the red expansion pack. I paid $15 for it with all the hookups, and it works. So that was cool. So now I can
Nice.
sell and recoup
Yeah, you got
money
a couple
on
of
it.
games with
So
that too, didn't you?
yeah, I got that was the next week. So we took 2 weeks off or whatever because of the holiday. I went down to the swap meet again. I love the swap meet.
Yeah.
It's like my second home. But I picked up a few SNES games. Also, Yoshi's Island, or no, Yoshi's. What's the one with the Super Scope?
Safari.
Yeah, I
Yoshi's
really pumped to play it.
I had that back in the day.
Really?
I played the Super Scope and Super Scope, right? Scope?
Yeah.
It's just weird because I'm thinking Scope is
It's a mouthwash.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like that's not the right name, but it is. Anyway, the Super Scope, I played that when I was a kid, and I had it, and I ended up selling it in college. But I ended up, I was a collector back in the day. I had all the games for the Super Scope, which weren't many. I think there's 8 or something.
Yeah,
I think
It was
not a
8 or
ton.
10. That's why I was happy to get it because I was like,
And it's honestly a fun game. It's kind of like a weird rail shooter, and I just remember it was the only one where you kind of felt like you had a machine gun.
Oh, really?
It really would shoot. And
Awesome.
you go and just it's random. You're on the back of Yoshi. You're walking around, and it's kind of like on a weird 2D level, a la Mario Kart SNES.
Awesome.
But yeah.
No, then I got. Let me see. I got some rough label like Mario 64 and like a really rough.
I saw that.
Yeah,
That's the
Sub-Zero. Oh my
comment.
gosh.
I saw that and I said, "Did you pull that out of a dead body?" That thing looked.
It is rusty and crusty. I cleaned the pins.
yeah.
Fires right up.
That's good.
It's
That's
amazing.
that's the great thing about cartridges, man.
I know, man. That's why I love them.
Yeah, those things look like they were used for a doorstop at a Motley Crue concert. I mean, they're gnarly looking.
Yeah. See, I've picked up like discs that look clean and they
I've
won't
seen
fire up,
things.
and it's
if they
like
could talk. they're
yeah. But that's pretty much it. I didn't buy anything retail here recently or anything, so yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Black Friday, Thanksgiving. I ended up going out with my nephew. So my wife's sister and her kids were in town. They're in town from Colorado. And there was like two kids, like it's probably like your house, Shane, I guess, with like young kids running around. We're not used to that because our house is not quite baby proof yet. With
Welcome
the baby,
to the madness.
With the baby on the way. I know we got a little less than 3 months. We're excited. We say excited where we're just like we know that it's about to be over.
It's coming. It's coming.
But anyway, so we ended up going. He went out with me, and I took him out after Thanksgiving. We were in about 2 or 3 hours after everything closed. Now, I actually, for this time, did not want very many video games. I want practical stuff. Like, I ended up getting a vacuum.
Oh, wow.
Hey, but yeah, well, it's a nice vacuum. I don't care what you guys say. It should be like a...
How many teraflops will it process?
7. Well, let's see. It's what the heck is it? I actually wanted to say it's not the Dyson, but it's one that's like...
Is it a Shark?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sharks are amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I like
sharks
that.
are legit.
See, look,
we
you guys
have
are
a
making
shark.
fun of me. You're just like, oh, I like the shark. Yeah, I like.
God,
it.
we're really,
Yeah,
we're really
we need
showing
to-
our age
we need
here.
to- we need to get paid for this plug.
I know. Yeah, Shark Navigator, please.
Yeah,
we're
please
sponsored by
hit us up, Shark. Give us some money.
Yeah, but I have anyway. It was $99. Should be about 200. It was a really good deal, and they had another one, which like a Hoover or something for 40, and of course everybody was taking that one.
Yeah.
And I instantly was like, no.
No, do
I've been
the
around the
Shark.
block. Like I was telling my nephew this too because I picked up a vacuum. He didn't question it, but I could just kind of told him, you don't understand how important this is, young man. Because like when you get your vacuum for the first time, which you will in college probably, where you just like, oh, I need to clean up my floor if I have people over or whatever, or ladies. He probably still wouldn't do it because he's a college boy.
Yeah.
But anyway, you'll realize that you need to get a good vacuum, and then you need to get one that probably doesn't need all the filters changed and things like that. So I ended up getting
Bags
that.
and everything. Yeah.
He ended up getting a game. I got a movie for his dad, 13 Hours. I never saw that movie. Did you guys see
13 Hours?
13 Hours. It's done by Michael Bay. It was about the Benghazi thing. It's an
Oh
action
yeah,
movie.
I've heard of it, but I have
No,
not
I
seen
never.
it.
Nah.
Okay.
I bet some stuff blows up.
Yeah, some stuff. I actually heard it's like
Michael
one of
Bay
his
does
better
that?
ones.
He blows up stuff.
Michael Bay blows things up.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Michael, he blows up stuff, racial stereotypes, and a poorly acted beautiful woman needs to be in it, and that's
And not in any of the sequels.
Yeah, I say that, but I know I say that about like The Rock is great. I really like The Rock.
I do like.
kinda
Is that a
the-
Michael Bay flick?
That's a Michael Bay.
I
flick.
did not know that.
And The Island, I like The Island a lot.
I've not
Island.
seen The Island.
I have an autographed little poster of The Island that I got.
My wife
on eBay
loves that
years ago.
movie. Yep.
Yeah, I like The Island a
Yeah.
ton. It's really good. It's ScarJo, like early ScarJo. He also picked up Battlefield 1.
Ooh.
And I don't like picking up new games, and I'm not a huge first-person shooter fan. I watched him play Battlefield 1. It was great because he used to like Call of Duty. He came over, and of course, like he loves this kid. He's 13. He loves video games.
These young whippersnappers.
Yeah, but he's like he'll give up his tablet to play on Game Boy Color and play like Links to the Past. He's an old soul kid.
Oh, yeah.
He really likes video games. He likes all the
like
stuff
this
I
kid. I
have.
like this
yeah,
kid.
yeah. We've said before, like, can we adopt him because he's like the most behaved out of all our kids and stuff. But anyway, he ended up picking up Battlefield 1, and we popped in the PS4 and he played it, and that game looks so good.
It does look really cool, and I don't even like those kind of games. But I was tempted Black Friday to get it because it was on sale a lot of places.
Yeah, my brother picked it up and he's loving it.
I will definitely play it. So I didn't know, but Battlefield is a little more realistic. And for someone like me who's not a big run and gun, I still Call of Duty. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's good for what it is. Not my kind of game, right? But, I still have a lot of them, play the campaign or whatever. But Battlefield is more hide behind something, be tactical, think about what you do or else you'll get shot up and die. And that's not the way he was used to playing. And that's kind of how I would play it. Like, I always picture myself in the thing. I would not go running out in the middle of a field shooting guns ablazing in real life.
Rambo style.
Yeah, that's why I can't play survival horror games because I just stay in the safe room. People are like, no. When I walk out of the safe room, I hear cricking and cracking, and there's little things with like heads coming out of their elbows and stuff chasing me. I just stay in the safe room because they don't get in there.
It's going to be great to watch you play Resident Evil on VR. You're just going to stay in the same
That is
area. I'm
gonna
going to
be
come back
good.
like an hour or two later and you're still standing in the same spot, just sort of like looking around.
Dude, I will not. Yeah, I'm not.
But that's the thing about horror stuff in general, right? I mean, how many times have you watched a horror movie and you're like, get back in the room, get back behind the door.
Yeah.
He's right behind you. Like,
Yeah.
why would you go back out there? You know?
yeah. So you're the
It's-
guy yelling in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. I'm that dude that you don't want to be around.
Oh man! But anyway, it's a really good game. looked really good, and I liked the fact that it played different. He played online, and it played really well. Like you can, the buildings really blow up. That's evidently a Battlefield thing. I don't play Battlefield a lot, but like he would be inside a building and like hiding from stuff, and a tank would be outside, and the walls would crash and fall through. But it was so realistic looking, it like created panic, like panic. Like holy crap!
Yeah, they do a really good job on that.
Did you guys play
that.
the old Battlefields like back when it first came out?
No.
So I was in college at the time that the first Battlefield came out, and this was many moons ago. For any of our younger listeners, we didn't even have like DSL or anything. I had a dial-up connection when I was in college.
Oh yeah. I had dial-up.
But we poked up the ceiling tiles between our rooms and LANed our computers together on our end of the dormitory. And one of the games that we used to play was the original Battlefield game. Nice. And I'm not sure how the new ones work. But there was Axis and Allies essentially. And
they still do.
So there was German and Japanese, and then Americans and English and so on. But you were an Ally or an Axis power, depending on what map you were playing or whatever. But at least early on in the game, you could basically every time you died, you could pick which team you wanted to respawn on.
Oh, so you could flip
yeah.
flop.
So on occasion, I might have been guilty of switching teams just to kill other people on that team.
I'm kind of glad they got rid of that.
From behind. Well, I think that they even did in the first one because there was a lot of people but it was just so much fun to get online, be on the good guy's side, the Allies or whatever, and then switch to the Axis, respawn on the aircraft carrier, and then just shoot everybody in the head that was on the team that just to even things out a little bit.
And that is a neat thing. It also, and we'll finish talking about Battlefield. We were planning on talking about it. It was a really good game. That's what I saw, even though I didn't get a chance to play it. You can come back and like after you die, you can pick if you're on an airplane. You can be on a Zeppelin, and you can be in a tank, or you can pick up this heavy armor. And it looked real photorealistic. I thought it was cool. What else did I get? I got a couple games online that I can't even think of because they were just super inexpensive. Mortal Kombat XL, because I know Adam, you like that a lot, and I heard someone online,
looks good.
say they really liked Mortal Kombat, and they wish they had the XL one because it has all the downloadable
have you played it at all yet? Have you played the new one?
I have. I played the original.
The new one. I always think whenever I see it or play it, if they would have had this back before the ESRB, whenever everybody was like, oh my God, there's some cartoon blood.
Oh man, their heads would explode now for some of the stuff that they're doing on here now.
It would just be. People would have been put in prison, over this version.
I just watched a YouTube video of like all of like the finishing moves just going one after another. Holy wow.
They're amazing. And you just play the game and like half the time you're playing, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened.
I wonder if that's what you do for Mortal Kombat realistically though. It's like, it's a good fighting game, but more realistically, you're just like, man, I don't want to see these finishing moves. Like,
that reminds me. So I played. Well, I love watching just the finishing moves. There was a game on Sega Genesis. Have you guys ever Eternal Champions? Do you know
yeah. I've seen it. I've not spent much time with it.
That was one that I played again as a kid that I loved. And now you look back on it and it plays stiffly and people just kind of review it quickly and say it's not very good. But the fatalities were stage fatalities. So if you killed the person in a certain area of the stage, like, it's a stage 2D plane. So in one area, if the body would fall, then something would happen. Like in a futuristic thing, these lasers would come out, shoot him, and then a dirt devil thing like automatically would pick him up and throw him. Or another one like a dinosaur comes off screen on the caveman and eats him. Another one that they like kick him into a burning fire pit, and it was pretty gruesome. Like, and I thought the characters were really interesting. They come from different times, a la. In every other sci-fi flick, I guess, where they pull people out of different times. But even in Mortal Kombat didn't really do that. They're just in different dimensions, I guess. Yeah. But these are different. I thought if you ever have a chance, go look at all the stage fatalities for Eternal Champions it's pretty cool.
I just wish that they would bring back digitized characters.
Yeah.
Like they had in Mortal Kombat. Like I think it would be so cool to see a digitized character game, on modern hardware.
Yeah.
Something like Street Fighter the game, the movie, Street Fighter, the movie, the game. That's what I'm trying to say. Something like that. And for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, there is actually a game Street Fighter based on the movie Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's the movie characters, not the video game characters. So it's Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Was that on
Yeah.
PlayStation
It's the
or
game-
Sega? It was on both. It's on PlayStation and Sega Saturn, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. And I think the Saturn version is kind of the definitive version, but it's a game based on a movie based on a game,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
I think is a triple negative.
Yeah.
That made my head
So
hurt.
it may actually be real.
Yeah, it's like artificial food, right? It's just like too many degrees of Kevin Bacon for it to make sense. But the digitized character, I was going to say, there actually was one, of course, the digitized character is yourself. So there's a game, I think it's download only, unfortunately, for the PS3 where you can actually take pictures of yourself in posed positions.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
that becomes your sprite, and then you can go and play
Oh, wow.
as yourself or whatever. And that, I don't know what it's called.
No, on PSP or PS Vita, I can't remember which. They had the same thing too.
They did? Where you can
yeah,
take-
I'm totally blanking on the name of it, but yeah, it would have you look in the camera and you make a punch, and
Yep.
then it stores that image, and then you make a face like you've been punched in the face or something, and then it stores that image, and basically it recreates the fight using these sort of rudimentary sprites it makes out of your crappy face.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and that about does my Black Friday-ish shopping. I did get a laptop finally. I didn't find it in the store. We went to 3 or 4 different stores. My nephew was real nice. He's like, "I'm sorry you didn't get your laptop." I was like, "It's okay." That was the one thing I was looking for. And then of course the next day, so Black Friday morning, that same laptop that shouldn't have been online was online for like 2 hours. So I grabbed that, which I'm happy about, and I needed to upgrade my laptop. So that was kind of it. Didn't get a fridge, didn't get anything crazy. Just got a vacuum, a laptop, a couple games.
You get anything for the kiddo?
Yeah, so we did. We ended up getting a stroller, and what type of stroller? I don't know. My wife would know because she instantly was just like, "Yeah, we should get this one." We also found that if you register. So for those that are just joining in right now, Shane has 3 kiddos. Adam has 1, and I have 1 on the way. So I'm a video game dad, kind of, with an asterisk where I will be officially a dad soon.
I'm
right?
turning this podcast off. You're a liar.
Yeah, and you're ripping the badge off my chest right now. Turn in your gun, sir. Yeah. Anyway, so what the heck was I talking about?
Stroller.
Yes, stroller. Okay, so anyway, she got she ended up getting a stroller. We ended up finding out the registry. So this is kind of cool. If you should always overfill your registry, or it's a wedding registry, or bar mitzvah registry, kids registry, whatever you register for. You should buy more than what you think you might get, because at the end of it all, after the registry is kind of concluded, where they get their chance to buy stuff, everything on your registry is like 15% off. So I didn't know that. So and there was also a baby gate. We got a baby. Oh, exciting! Yeah, we got a baby gate. And we put 3 of them on the registry. One person bought it. We bought another one, so we only need 1 of those left. So
You always want more, because then, I mean, if you don't use it or something, just take it back, and then
Yeah,
you
man,
can
you
get
gotta
what
you gotta
need.
get all
Yeah.
the Darwin out of your house.
Yeah.
No natural selection in your home.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah. All the baby gates. You got to have the cabinet latches. You got to have the little things keep them putting their damn fingers into the socket.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna,
Yeah.
He's not going to be mobile for a while. I will say my child will probably be first to speak and talk compared to any other human based in this world. But he's not. We'll still have a little
Baby
while
genius
before that.
coming out.
Because we were thinking about that too. We were going crazy, like, oh yeah, we got to put plugs in the thing, and this thing's going to just be a pink blob for a good couple months. So we have some time before he constantly. But yeah, we hear that all the time. Like the classes, like they can't be on their stomach. They can't. I just feel
You've heard the latest recommendation, haven't you?
I don't know.
You're supposed to sleep with the child in your room.
in your bed now.
Yeah.
But they say that.
No, not in your bed, in your room.
Oh, in your room. Okay.
Yeah, no, not on the bed. Don't do that.
Okay,
Don't do
so
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you almost lost your new dad card.
I didn't
That's
have
tip
already.
101 to you.
Yeah,
Don't sleep
Shane
in the
is
bed.
basically the issuer of new dad cards. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, don't put them in the bed. And they say to do that because if you hear you won't hear something going on or something like that. But if you've got a good baby gate or whatever, then then it should be enough. Or sorry, a baby camera, whatever.
Yeah, have you got the camera where you can spy on the little dude?
Have the camera already?
sweet.
We've been using it as a dog camera.
You have to get him used to the nanny state early.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important.
That's
Well,
what
they
I've
have
heard.
like a thing you can put in the crib is like a heartbeat, like it's like a sensor.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if they're
no.
laying in the crib, do you got one of those?
I've heard. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky for me because I've heard about that, and
Uh-huh.
I'm in Adam and I are kind of in a medical field. I kind of want to hear what your take on this is, where I can basically know the respirations and the heartbeat and all the irregularities of my kid. I kind of don't want to do that for the same reason that people freak out as soon as your kid like cries a little differently and they take it. Like, I don't know. Do you think it's good? Have you used it?
We didn't use it on the first two kids, but here recently we used it, and it seems to work all right. I mean, it doesn't have like a alien, or what is that? Like when you're at the doctor's office where it's like a heartbeat monitor.
EKG monitor.
Yeah, it's not like doing that. It just, so if you take them off the crib, out of the crib, then it just lets you know, lets both monitors know, like it beeps in that room and in our room. That's all it does.
Oh.
So it doesn't like keep track of like the heartbeat or anything.
Oh.
We maybe had like the cheesy version. I don't know.
It just seemed like way too intensive for
that. Does seem really intensive.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's based on real science. Those things are or not. To be honest.
See, that's what I was thinking. I just think it's like, somebody freaking out thought I need to figure out the cardiovascular system of my baby immediately.
They used to do this stuff in the woods. I mean, that's what I always think is. And we have a house. We're not in the woods. They used to do this in the woods.
Yeah, you could go to the bathroom in the woods. You could do a lot of things in the woods.
Well, I think it'd be good for like crying out. So when you have to do the crying out phase, like I think that's good too. Is just because I mean they'll start going crazy. You don't want to listen to that, but then you still have something there to know that they're okay.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's later on down the road for you. So
I think the video surveillance though is kind of fun though.
Yeah.
And you'll get to appreciate that at some point. Like my kid, he's 3, but. We have a video camera in his room, and the video camera has a microphone on it, so you can not only simulate, a police state, you can also yell at them through the microphone.
Oh yeah.
So if he's like in there messing with his toys or tearing something up, you could be put that down, stop. Stop.
See, mine's like black and white, so like you could pan it back and forth. And I'll pan. I can't see him because it's black.
Yeah, mine you can't move.
Oh, mine you can move, but it's black and white. So I'm like trying to decipher which one's him. But then he'll like pop up out of nowhere, like his Jurassic Park or something, like his damn T-Rex or something.
That's what my kid does. He hides right underneath the shelf that it's on. And he'll just pop up, and his face will be right there. And sometimes this happens like 1 a.m, and it is so freaking creepy.
Yeah, it is, dude. Yeah, same thing. Deacon does that too. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude.
I've seen a couple videos. So a buddy of mine recorded it, and I think he put it on YouTube, but not like made it so it was private. And he showed me like he was kind of freaked out from his kid because there was a little girl, and she would stand up with the blanket, and she was older, right? So she could have a blanket in her. A blanket on her head and just talking to herself, wobbling back and forth.
Kids do some of the creepiest stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
I would have straight no, man. I'm just doing sound from now on. Yeah,
I need an old priest and a young priest.
Yeah. So my kid, he's at this phase right now where he started to realize, like in comics or not comics because we're not reading comics, but like in cartoon shows and stuff, there's like a good guy and a bad guy sometimes.
Okay.
So he's starting to figure out like, there's good and there's bad. There's good guys and bad guys, villains and superheroes and that kind of thing. But he has it all screwed up in his mind. Oh. And
he's getting backwards.
Well, so like some of the cool action figures he has are the bad guys, and like the cooler looking guys a lot of the time are the bad guys. So I'm like, so what are you, good guy or bad guy? He's like, I'm bad guy. Because the bad guy's cooler. I'm like, no, awesome. you want to be the good guy. He's like, no, bad guy. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you want to be the good dude. Which are you, good or bad? And so it's kind of creeps me out a little bit that he's already decided that he's the bad guy and he's 3 years old. But I think when I set it down, I actually show him, this character loves his mommy and this one doesn't. And then he wants to be the good guy. But for right now, he wants to be like the Darth Vader or
it makes
whatever.
sense. Like say Mr. Sinister versus Cyclops. Like if you're looking at those two action figures as a kid. Like, which one looks cooler? That makes perfect sense.
Cyclops is so lame. Yeah. Just as an aside.
I know. I will say that. I brought Cyclops. This up. I actually kind of like Cyclops via the cartoon. Remember X-Men cartoon?
Oh, yeah.
The Cyclops in the X-Men cartoon, I kind of liked him. I liked him a little better. In the movies, they didn't do he's
always a dweeb.
Yeah, he's the lame guy. I had glasses growing up as a kid, so I felt like, I'm not the nerd. Yeah, see, I can be somebody too when I grow up. Yeah, so maybe that's why. But yeah, that's why I said. What was his name? Scott Summers or something?
Yeah, Scott Summers. That's right. I actually watched the X-Men Apocalypse movie earlier today. So.
Oh, did you like it?
It was okay. It's not terrible, but. Apocalypse was always like the biggest
guy.
villain ever, and so I think in my mind I probably had a construct in my mind that they were never going to be able to live up to as far as like making Cyclops as cool as he should be.
Yeah, well, at least it's saying, because a lot of people just said, "Oh, it's terrible." Laura and I watched that in the theater, and we liked it. I remember in Black Friday, actually, there was a guy talking. The other guy picked it up, wanted to play, looked at the movie. He's like, "Oh, is this movie good?" And his friend's like, "This is the worst one by far." And I think it's fine. I do think, yeah, Apocalypse. I think the actor who plays him is really good. He's the guy that was in Ex Machina. You saw it,
And
Shane.
I've not seen that.
Which one?
Did you see Ex Machina?
Uh-uh.
I thought you saw that movie with the. Yeah, you did. You told me you saw it in the theater. Am I thinking of something else?
Yeah.
That's the movie with the girl who's a robot.
Yeah, I can't pronounce the title,
Yes.
so
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I
No.
stayed
Ex
away from it.
Machina. I thought you said.
Yeah.
You used to call it. Okay.
That's based on an anime, though, right?
It is. Yeah. And then Ghost in the Shell. That one's coming out based on anime. I never watched that one either. But anyway, I liked the film. I thought it was good. I liked the Days of Future Past one. Maybe.
Yeah,
a
I
little
really
better.
like the Days of Future Past. I think of the X-Men movies, going back. That's probably my favorite one, actually. Days of Future
Days
Past.
of Future. That is really good.
It was really good, and maybe that's why people criticized it so much. I mean, there are plot holes in it, and it's not a perfect movie by any stretch, but it's good, dumb fun, and I thought it was, it's watchable. It's okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sad that I watched it.
Yeah, and I picked up maybe a couple Blu-rays for the wifey, like Hunger Games, something like that. We got a lot of cheap stuff. I'm the Best Buy. Best Buy is a big electronics retailer, so I had elite access. So I got all the Black Friday deals early, like the day before or something like that, or that Monday.
Elite.
Yeah, which just meant I
Ooh.
spent $1,500 the year before, and that is just because we bought a fridge the year before, and then that added up us to get over that amount. So unfortunately, I won't have that next year because you got to spend that much every year, and I'm not some crazy.
Just go buy that 4K TV.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
you need
there you
this
go.
TV. When you turn it off, you throw it away. It's kind of hard to spend that much money on it. But I don't know. Did you get anything else, Adam?
Yeah, I picked up a few things. So, the first of which is one thing I said that I would
That's
never.
wonderful applause. Did you hear that applause? So we are three guys in a basement, so we can hear water running upstairs. I'm sure that was just a dishwasher or something, but it literally in my headphones sounded like applause.
Yeah, no, I got something that I hate, and but I have to have it because it's on the Wii U. So I got Minecraft for the Wii U because it was on a Black Friday deal.
Oh, your
online,
favorite
cheap.
game? Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's sacrilege to not like Minecraft.
The battle mode's
but
good though. I don't know if they have it for the Wii U though, but I have it on Xbox One. The battle mode's really cool.
I don't know. Every time I turn on Minecraft, I'm like, I don't get it. Stupid.
Try the battle
Turn it
mode
off.
when you
Yeah.
get a chance. Yeah, it's fun. It's real basic,
It's
but
just-
it's
it's
so
the-
basic. It's good.
It's
though.
the hiddenness. You're a kid, you dig in the ground, then you find out there's a dungeon. And then
a dungeon.
instantly, well, you didn't think that was there. It's a whole other world that is created that you didn't think
Yeah,
of.
I know.
I just wish
still
it had a
won't-
little bit more direction.
I still won't
just
play
a little
it.
direction.
I probably won't play it ever, but maybe my kid will play it at some point.
Yeah,
he
well,
will.
you got to get
Yeah,
that.
he'll love it.
You got to
When
get
he
those.
gets that age.
Any other games you got for the Wii U?
Let me think about that. Yeah, I got Hyrule Warriors, which I did not have. I got Pokken Tournament, which is
It's like Facebook, Poke Me.
no, Pokken.
Okay.
So it's the act of poking, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's like Pokemon.
G-rated poking, not poking in the Old West sense.
What is it like? Pokemon / Tekken. It's like
What's
Pokemon.
that?
Pokemon / like Tekken.
Sort of, yeah. It's like a Namco game, but it's with Pokemon in it.
I heard it's good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of looks like Smash Brothers.
I want to get the fight stick for it. There's like
Yeah,
there's a
there
little
are.
like
There's
fight
special
pad or something.
Yeah, there's special controllers just for the game.
Yeah,
and all that.
it's
So-
supposed to be good.
It is the first time I've seen it marked down, so I got it, and I don't think of what else. Oh, I got Splatoon, which amazingly I still have not
Awesome.
gotten because it's one of the games that's still $60.
Whoa.
Everywhere. So I refuse to spend $60 on any Wii U game. So
Well, isn't it 40? Don't you have Prime where it's $48?
no, I got it cheaper than that. I think I got it for 30.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was gonna say yeah, because
But it was one of those lightning deals on Amazon. I can't remember where I got it from. Maybe in Walmart. No, it was Target actually. I think. It was
You haven't had a
$21
chance to
at
play
Target.
Splatoon yet either, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, man.
I have not
So
played
good.
Splatoon, but I probably will at some point. It really looks like a game I would enjoy. I
Yeah.
think. So I got those. Those are my Wii U games, and no, I don't know how many I have.
Didn't you get a Lego one too? Lego Dimensions or no?
Oh yeah. I got the boxed Lego Dimensions with the portal and all. Which the Legos that you can buy for that, like the little sets, they're pretty cool actually. Like I mean, they sucker you in with like, oh, well, buy this thing, and then you can warp your little characters into the game. But that's not the cool part. The cool part's the little freaking figurines.
It's
that go
a
with
Toys
it.
to Life for those that don't know.
Yeah,
right?
it's like Skylanders. Or,
Skylanders
Yeah.
or Disney Infinity or the Amiibo, where you basically buy a physical object and then that physical object becomes a part of the video game. I still think that whole thing is kind of magical. I collected the Disney Infinity ones because they're super cheap now, and they stopped producing it. But like, I just still think it's me as a grown up. There's something that it taps into a little kid part of me where I see a toy. You put the toy on a portal, and then on your screen, that portal turns into a like. There's enough of a little kid inside me that just realizes like, oh, I would just be all over this. So now, I've got them ready for my kid when he's gonna be like, "What are these? These are baby's toy. You got to use your hands."
Well, speaking of that, I think they actually have a Back to the Future Lego set
they
that
do.
goes with that thing.
Are you going to be like Hook like I am
Well,
with
they've
Amiibos?
got
Are you just going to go crazy?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
going
you
that,
are.
I'm not following you down that rabbit hole. But no, I was looking at them. I was like, man, those are really cool. And then like I really like Portal. The Portal games,
Yeah,
Portal 1 and Portal 2.
Yeah,
they have
great.
Portal action figures.
See?
I bought that stupid pinball game on PlayStation 4 just because they had a Portal like playfield on it, for pinball.
Yeah,
It
that
sounds like you're going to go down the slippery slope.
No,
you're going to
I'm
get the
not-
Portal.
I'm not going down it.
It's going to
No.
be good, and
I
then you're going to get Back to the
should-
Future. It's going to be good.
Well, for context, so Shane really's gotten into the Amiibo thing. He's been in it for a while. He's got scars to prove it. But your wife supported you through it. Thank God, right?
She keeps supporting me through it. So,
because these are, it gets to be kind of a not expensive, having time consuming, but there's of the things that you can collect, they're not really that expensive.
Yeah, it sucks because it's like you there's like 5 figures that release in a week, and it's like they're $10 a piece. It's like, okay, well, there's $50 gone. Not too bad, but then you're thinking, okay, I could have got a game instead of buying 5 figures or something like that. It's like, man.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say that because I actually did buy 2 Amiibos that were on clearance at Target.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I got the Zero Suit Samus Amiibo.
Cool.
Which is kind of a cool one because I actually played
that's cool.
Zero Mission. The one I got from you, Shane.
Yep.
Actually, I played Zero Mission here very recently, so that was still kind of fresh in my mind. I think I got that Amiibo for like $5 or something, $4 or $5.
Yeah.
And then I got the Shovel Knight Amiibo. And I've been eyeballing that one for a while just because it's kind of cool. It's kind of unique. It's not Nintendo,
That one's cool to have too because it's got a lot of actual content with it too for the game. So that's really good.
And I have Shovel Knight. So.
See, everybody gives me crap about Amiibos, but Ben over here you have the complete collection of Disney Infinity. You're pretty dang close, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. See, everybody wants to give me crap about that.
Well,
But
here's
okay.
I picked up the Disney Infinity characters. For those who don't know, Disney pulled the plug on this. Disney has a big treasure chest, and they were realizing that they weren't making enough money on it. And I think it's because they did the Disney thing, which is like really make this thing polished and good. And the game, it got better as the third installment of the game got really good reviews.
Yeah.
And the characters themselves are built really well. I know a lot of people just buy them to, you like Daisy Duck, you buy the Daisy Duck one or whatever the character is. And out of all the characters, it's pretty unanimous that they're the best quality and best looking of all these characters.
They do look cool. I mean,
they look cool.
Yeah.
And
They're my second.
I don't
favorite.
own any of them, but
and
they
so
do.
there was a
They're
lot of
cool.
R&D that went into it, a lot of marketing, and they lost. They basically had the new guy that took over. I forget his name, but he basically pulled the plug on the whole thing, and they had to close up shop overnight. And they're only going to support the online features for another.
I think it was Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah.
Or is it Ebenezer?
Something like
Ebenezer.
that.
Yeah.
It's just another 2 months. So basically, you can only play the game online another 2 months. You could still play the game forever, but a lot of people are
Yeah,
freaking
but the
out.
toy box is really awesome.
Yeah, but you can still download them now, and you can make toy boxes. You just can't upload them to other people. You can
Which
save
sucks.
them or whatever. Yeah,
That's
that-
the problem with new gaming now is like
Yeah.
they can take it from you.
Yeah, that
anytime.
bites. But at least the game part of it, if you're not
Yeah.
an online multiplayer or whatever, and you don't want to go Minecrafty with it, the game is still there. And I got some of the. Honestly, they were 29 cents for the figures, so of course I'm going to pick them up. So yeah, I have them all, and we're going to put them all around.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Baby
You still
boy's
going to do
room.
that about with the baby's room?
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to make some shelves, some cheap shelves. I think I'm going to talk my brother-in-law into helping me out, and we'll just build some shelves and put them all up around the corner because we're going to kind of have, light like Simba, Lion King, like Disney, not overly. We're having kind of like some artsy prints that we got on Etsy.
Yeah.
done of while we were thinking of themes and things. We got the paint picked out.
Nice.
So we really went outside the box, and we're getting blue for a boy.
Yeah.
We want to do something different, but honestly, there's only so many colors you can do with a nursery. I was like, oh man, I get to do a nursery. Boom, Ninja Turtles. We're gonna have all this green stuff, and what I wanted as a kid, and I know kids now like Ninja Turtles. And then I instantly remember, it's like my wife's like, no. That's like when the kid turns into a little boy.
No, kids don't even really like that stuff anymore. My kid, like, and I know he's only 3, but God, when you watch the TV shows, they're all about community service and holding hands. Like, there's no katanas. Like, there wasn't cartoons when we were kids.
Maybe it's just, it's maybe because our kids are just a little bit too young to have.
Yeah, I guess
cool
maybe.
Stuff.
But I watch their shows and I'm
it.
like, oh my gosh, these are much more harmonious than what we experienced. There was always good, bad, and one person dies.
Well, I always see like the kids.
Yeah.
I do see kids out there liking like they're wearing Ninja Turtle stuff. They like it. It's just not for a kid. You need like the simple babyish stuff. And then I instantly was like, oh yeah, that's right. So
you got to wait till they get old enough to design it themselves, type of deal. Right now, you're just designing, for yourself.
And it's just and it's baby wise, so you got to keep it like babyish and cutesy and all this stuff I'm not used to doing. But it'll get done. It'll get done this month. We'll try to get a big kick into it this weekend.
You doing the painting yourself?
Yeah, we're gonna, of course. Yeah, of course. I've never paid anybody to paint. That's the one thing. Like I think everybody can do is paint. You just gotta prep. The prep work is easy. What? Are you shaking your head?
Oh boy,
I paint all the time.
I can't paint.
You can't paint.
Yeah, I can't paint.
You're like
that's
super
everywhere,
handy,
man. Yeah. No, I can't paint.
Can you paint, Adam?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just the worst painter ever. I leave it to my wife. I'm like, here, please paint the room.
The thing about our house right now is like up to, I don't know, around 36 inches or so from the floor. It's just greasy freaking fingerprints everywhere. And my house needs to, like the first floor especially, needs to be repainted. But we're also like, yeah, there's still going to be more French fry stains if we do it right now. So we're just kind of waiting until we can kind of do it. So we're just letting the house, like I said, about 36 inches or so. It just looks a little bit crummy, but if we paint it, it's going to look just like that again in about 2 weeks.
Just wait.
Claim like flood damage. Of like
No, I'm dead serious. Look at
French fries finger damage.
Yeah, I would love to see an insurance adjuster come into my house and be like, your flood looks like it was made out of a 3-year-old's hands.
No, we just had a really big French fryer and it overturned and it filled the whole house.
French fry that is rolled around our house.
Yeah, he does though. I used to try to keep him away from the walls and everything else, and I still do. But it's a very much a losing effort.
Yeah, you'll learn to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah,
you'll see. You'll just be like, oh man.
And he does. He's got those little cars, Matchbox cars, and he just runs those dudes up and down the walls. And I'm like, God, not on the wall. Do it anywhere except on the wall.
Yeah.
But we have this real soft satin kind of finish. And it just shows everything. I mean, you can't breathe on that paint without it showing the problem. So
you need semi-gloss is what I heard. At least that's what
Teflon.
Yeah. Teflon. Well, somewhere else that I went, kind of surprisingly, is work. I went to Philadelphia for work for a couple days, and it kind of caught me off guard. And I didn't have much time there, and I didn't have many hours to myself, and it was right before Thanksgiving. So I flew out and had to go kind of help take care of a matter, and maybe had a few hours on one day. And of course, what I do, I was thinking about like trying to go downtown, fight all the traffic, and I ended up picking up a couple games. I went to like 2 like game stores. One was close to my house. It was called. It was in a mall. It was called J Street Games. I think I told you about this, and I showed you guys like what I picked up. Yeah. His name was Colin. He was real nice. So shout out to Colin. Pretty sure that's his name. Now I feel really bad if it's not. Let me know if it's not. But anyway, I picked up some. I think like some. So what I'm trying to do, I haven't said this on the podcast yet. As collectors, you try to figure out different things to collect here and there, and something like maybe inexpensive I'm trying to collect one of every software piece of every video game, that system that came out. So like, one NES game, one Atari game, one Lynx game, and they're super cheap. I just want like one complete box of it. Like I have a Vectrex, and then
Adam. Do you know how many there is?
So I've
like rough estimate.
Yeah, I don't know. There's probably like 40 or 50, including handhelds. You can go into like things like the Wonder Swan, which is really obscure, and the Action 52.
Actually, one of
Or what's that
Not
tiger?
really
What's that
50.
tiger one that's just red?
Yeah,
that,
the R Zone.
Yeah, the R
Yeah,
Zone.
the
You're
R
gonna
Zone.
go for that? I mean,
Yeah.
would that be considered one?
I think that would be considered
All
like
the cool
a
kids
handheld.
played R-Zone.
R-Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no R-Zone was this terrible. We know this, but boy.
I don't know nothing about
Yeah,
it. I
this
just
is,
seen
this
it
is
one
pretty
commercial.
obscure, the
Yes.
R-Zone.
The R-Zone was
Yeah.
like basically before like Game Boy, they had those little handheld games that were just like not even sprites, but just little pieces that would turn on and turn off.
LCD.
And, yeah, LCD little cheap little games. And they put that on a beam technology that would project over a glass over one of your eyeballs.
Only one eyeball.
Only one, so you
Yeah.
either had to
Couldn't
close
cover
your
the
eye.
two, huh?
Yeah, so then if you go and get glasses, you need a stronger prescription on one side. Now you know why. But anyway, so I picked up a couple games from that. I ended up chatting up the guy, Colin. Right, that's what I said at the beginning. I hope I wrote it down. Everything I totally forget, but. Yeah, he was a real cool dude. He was like, he's a little younger than us, probably by like 5-10 years, but he's an old soul. He likes all the old games. We like talked it up for a while. So anyway, I followed him on Twitter and everything else, but he's a cool guy. Gave me a nice little hookup too. So I really appreciated that just in helping me find games, cause he's not the owner. So I don't want the owner to think he like gave me a bunch of free games. They had cameras in that whole place. Anyway, he even told me, he's like, yeah, the owner like watches those cameras. Like he's like from another country or something. He watches those cameras, make sure people don't steal stuff. But it was kind of cool just visiting a retro store in another city. Philly's funny. Have you guys been to Philly?
No.
Like it's I didn't realize it's so close to New York. And you know, we're from the Midwest, right?
Yeah.
And we're used to people being nice or being passive aggressive.
Yeah,
you know, just
we're nice
nicely. Yeah, or just like we don't yell, but we'll maybe give you a stern look. But man, in Philly, it's like everybody talks so dang loud, and they're just like even the people I was working with, and you know, in like a professional setting, they're all like, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, hey." Yeah, so I get the whole brotherly love thing. I get why they're so passionate because you kind of get they've got a little New Yorkness to them,
Yeah.
but more just kind of haha, lucky family going, a little more
yeah.
Britishy kind of humor, self-deprecating.
That's cool.
But it could come across as super, obnoxious maybe
Yeah.
to people that don't know. So I kind of get Philly's persona, but I enjoyed. I started talking like it though. You spend enough time there. I came back and I was just like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like that is not how I talk. Why am
It
I
was
talking
awesome
like
to
that?
actually go to a game store and get some deals.
Yeah,
too. That's
and,
cool, man.
yeah, and I went to one other store that I saw on YouTube before. They've been kind of popular on the Game Chasers. It's called Game Junkie. Yeah, and this other guy on YouTube I follow, his name's Adam Karolik. He's been on YouTube forever playing, showing off video games. I called him or messaged him before I went. Be like, hey, I'm going to be in Philly. I'm only going to get like 3 hours to myself. Not enough time to sightsee because I'm too far away from any sightseeing things. Like I wanted to run the Rocky Steps, but
Oh, man,
couldn't-
that'd been sweet.
I know I couldn't do it. Like
Oh.
I was so far away. I was in this place called Plymouth Landing or something. So it's kind of like the equivalent of, I don't know, Platte City, and then of here. So, but I drove to this place called Game Junkie, and it was really fun. It was super busy. This guy had everything under the sun. The owner, I think he's lost some weight because I saw a video of him maybe a year or two ago, and he kind of looked like a different guy. He looked like he lost, I don't know, 50, 75 pounds. So it took me a second but he was real nice, gave me a deal. He had so many like box things. I picked up a box Vectrex game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
for not much. He gave it was like 20, and Vectrex games are super expensive. And the fact he gave me a complete Vectrex game for $20, Berserk. I think that's
Oh
a
yeah,
good
yeah,
deal.
with the overlay and the whole bit.
The whole thing is in there. Yeah,
cool.
I
And
don't know what my deal is. I can't get no deals if I go to a video game store. It's like, let's mark it up on this guy. Like, you chat him up or something? What's
I
going
do
on?
chat him up.
Okay.
I go in and I tell him from the get-go. I kind of say, hey, if I buy more games, you're going to give me a little more of a deal. And then, even he was like, I only had 3 games at the time there. And he was just like, I keep shopping. He
Yeah.
didn't say no. He didn't say yes. And
That's cool.
yeah, and it was so busy in that store. It was funny because people were coming in. This guy left and came out, and he's instantly like, I think someone ripped him off a little bit or did a game. And there's another guy that like bought all these like Rock Band, the Rock Band drum sets and
Yeah.
everything. So I couldn't tell if this guy was selling it to him or what, but he had them all throughout the store. And I asked the owner, I was like, what is going on? This old guy in a trench coat has all these Rock Band things. I can't even see the games. They're in the way. And I was kind of getting a little, perturbed or whatever, if that's a word. And finally I asked the owner, he's like, I'm selling them all to him. And he's giving them to like a youth charity
cool.
or like
yeah, that's cool.
who knows what. I don't know if these are special needs kids or just kids who are
Yeah,
but he's
just need something to
set
play.
up music stuff. I think it is. It might be like special needs things set up. He's like it's great because I'm getting him out of the store and I'm giving him a deal and he's happy. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and I
really
like-
awesome,
But he
man.
had
There's so much of that. Every time I go anywhere, there's just rock band crap piled to the ceiling.
yeah.
I love Rock Band though.
I do too. I'm a sucker for it, but God, that stuff is everywhere.
Oh, that's right. We played that together.
Yeah,
one
we
time.
did,
I
man.
forgot. We went to your house.
Yeah,
I-
Shane's got the 360 version with the fog machine.
The fog machine,
that was a
yes.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played. Yeah, we played it.
had game night over at my house.
We
yeah.
did.
I
We did
remember
that. You, me. We had the gaming historian.
Yeah,
Norman
was Jordan there
Caruso
too?
was
No,
playing.
Jordan had to leave early.
Jordan had to leave
Yeah.
early, so it was
Yeah.
just a band of four. Norman
Yep.
was on the. He was on the drums, right?
Yeah, I think
drums.
so. I sorted out on the drums, but I kind of suck.
Yeah,
so
you failed us out, man.
I think I ended up on bass because that's the easiest.
Yeah.
And then Shane was the singer, which was also priceless.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And the
These
wives
sweet
were-
harmonies is singing.
Yeah,
out
the wives
and
were
stuff.
upstairs, and then we were filling the
No,
basement.
they,
with
no,
fog.
yeah, they actually came downstairs. They're like, "What are you burning?" I know it's just the fog machine.
It's
you
not a
know,
Cypress
like-
Hill concert going on
Yeah,
down here.
yeah.
We're burning
Relax, go back
tunes, yeah.
upstairs.
We're just killing it so much we're causing random fires.
Yeah,
I didn't even know there was a fog machine, and that was pretty.
yeah.
it-
Strobe light, fog machine.
Yeah, no, that fog machine, it's legitimate too. I mean, that thing puts out.
Yeah,
I almost
that's a
bought the
serious
demo.
amount of
I almost
fog.
bought the
And it
there's
does
a
it on-
kiosk for that.
Yeah, no, I'm sending you the bills for my emphysema.
but it does it on the music. It does it to the music,
Music,
like on a
yeah.
big, like cool part.
Yeah, no,
it
yeah,
does it
totally. Like
perfect,
when
yeah.
there's a guitar solo, it's like, whoosh,
Yeah,
you know.
it's legit, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. We need to do another.
yeah, we need to do that again. Actually, that would be fun.
another game night. But anyway, yeah. So I picked up a lot of different random things in Philly. Yeah, I wish I would have known there's another guy that's in a gamer group we know. It's like Retro Rat or something. He was in Philly, and I showed him some of the stuff. And he's like, oh, why didn't you come? I could have shown you around town. I was like, oh, crap, I didn't even know you were in Philly. I don't know the suburbs and stuff, so I didn't know Rockefeller or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I picked up a couple other little things. I picked up a big collector edition Claptrap deluxe box set Borderlands.
Oh, yeah, that thing's huge.
It is huge, and the thing was like $400 when it originally was released, and I was at GameStop, and I sort of saw it and kind of impulse bought it because I'm a big sucker for Borderlands. I probably put more time on Borderlands 1 and 2 on PS3.
Yeah, and
than
I've
the
never
other two
played
games.
it. I've never played it before, so it's like a first-person shooter.
It is. It's an RPG mixed with a first-person shooter, mixed with sort of a comic book, and it's a game that has a lot of humor. But it's the only games like on PS3 that I think I've played where I just would grind and farm just for new weapons and to level up characters and all that sort of thing. But I really enjoyed it. There's some part of my reptilian brain that like just loves that game, and I haven't played the prequel that was in that box set. So I thought,
yeah.
well, I want to play the prequel anyways. This thing comes with a remote control robot Claptrap, and so I thought, yeah, that's
We
pretty
got to
cool.
try that robot around.
Yeah,
next time.
and I haven't
wanna try
actually
that.
turned it on yet, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to be really disappointed. But and it was like $100, and I rarely spend $100 on anything game related. But it was $3.99 when it first came out, and which is ridiculous. But I really wanted it when it first came out, but I saw it for $100, and I thought, I'm feeling good today. Why not? so I got that thing, and then I also bought at Target, and I don't even play Pokemon, never really have, but they had a dual pack, Pokemon Sun and Moon, the new Pokemon games.
Yeah.
With little figures. It's a Target exclusive, and so I kind of bought that because I thought, well, maybe my kid or something in the future will really want to play that and think it's cool. And that's basically it.
Cool. Poor Shane over there's got the sniffles.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry,
you're
everybody.
fine. We're all, it's weather changing right now in the Midwest, so we're all feeling a little congested. So sorry if we sound a little gunky, but we're all kind of maybe just getting that early winter cold.
Yeah.
But something that happened in the summer that we really need to talk about that we haven't yet is Shane and I took a trip to Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Portland and went to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
Would have been nice to be. Yeah, it would have been nice to be invited.
Oh, you're invited. You just had to work though. That's a crappy thing.
Yeah, unfortunately,
you would have loved it, man.
Unfortunately,
I'm sure it would have.
yeah, unfortunately, Adam couldn't come with us. But another friend of mine, Chris, ended up going with us, which was great because we all didn't ever hang out before. We were just like three dudes, and I threw it to him. I knew he liked video games. I was like, hey, you want to go with us to this Portland Retro Gaming Expo for a weekend? And he worked weekends only. And he ended up getting that time off to come with us, and it was a lot of fun. So we basically planned this out way in advance. Not like I left my pregnant wife at home on purpose. We kind of.
I just left my three kids at home.
Your three kids, yeah.
Dude, you live in the middle of town. There's hospitals nearby.
Yeah,
she was fine.
It was fine, but yeah, sad Adam couldn't go. So it's what Portland Retro Gaming Expo is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, really.
Yeah, it's what everybody talks about.
Yeah, the biggest retro game show, and
it's the one.
We haven't really been to any. I did go to one earlier this year randomly that was in St. Louis for the first time, the Missouri Game Con, and you guys weren't able to go with me. I drove out there, and my wife. We ended up seeing some family friends, and I went to that, and that was fun. It was like a game swap. It was just neat to go to something that was like close to home because most of these things are far away.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, go to the Midwest." It's like, where's that? Milwaukee. I'm like. You don't know regional, no, just
they call it Midwest, and I suppose it is, but it certainly doesn't feel Midwest.
No,
it's more like North,
and it's fine. It's just more it's far away, whatever it's called, And there's a bunch of others, like Too Many Games. There's one in Texas, but the one in Portland is the one to go to. It's the one where prominent, like if you watch YouTubers, the biggest one known to man that everybody knows, the Angry Video Game Nerd
was there.
What's his real name? Sorry,
James Rolfe.
Yeah, James Rolfe. And you got his.
I got an autograph for my nephew. Yeah, he's really really nice. I was actually running late. I couldn't find anything for him to sign because I couldn't find any DVDs of him he was selling or anything, or just anything he was selling. So I just used my badge, but my nephew really wanted an autograph from him. He watches it, so I was like, oh yeah. So last second, they kept on telling us, like, we're not going to take, he's not going to do your autograph. Like, you should have got here earlier. I was like, no, I'm getting his autograph. And he was nice enough to sign it for me, though. It was really awesome of him. So
yeah, especially because he was just signing so
long.
I
mean, he signed so long. I mean, he was probably there 3 hours. I mean, I felt sort of bad about doing that, but I mean, he was super nice. So.
Has the ink washed off yet?
Nope. Okay. I was very gentle with it after that, so I could give it to my nephew. It wasn't even for me.
No, I'm talking about under your shirt.
Oh, my
I guess you had it tattooed on.
I got it tattooed on.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Who else we see there?
You stole a lock of his hair as well. There's a guy called Metal Jesus. Luckily, he did not give himself that name. I always found that if he
I know every time I watch one of his videos, I'm kind of waiting for a lightning bolt.
Yeah, but he finally gave a video of how he got that name because his coworkers called him that because he's always had this long hair, and honestly, he does
look like
the
Metal
pictures,
Jesus,
the traditional pictures of Jesus or whatever, and he loves metal music, so it works perfectly. It's just funny.
There.
He was there. Yeah, Norm, the gaming historian who comes from our town, was there as well. He's from Kansas City or lives in Kansas City right now. The people who do that really big podcast, this CU podcast, Completely Unnecessary Podcast. Pat Contry was there, and his co-host Ian. I gave Ian a little care package when he was there. I gave him a T-shirt of Amplitude because I know he liked Amplitude, and I know he has anxiety problems. He's said that before on his podcasts and stuff, and I could tell he was pretty nervous. Yeah. Meeting all these people, it's you got to kind of hype yourself up to do all that. And I remember I gave him that. I said, hey, how you doing? I know you like Amplitude. And it was funny. I got that Amplitude shirt. It looks like a really nice shirt, and it was a Kickstarter backer thing. But it was just at a booth for I don't know, $4 or something like that.
Yeah, there's a whole stack of them. It was cool, man.
Yeah. The game convention is basically, what do you think? 2 or 3 football fields of just people selling video
stuff,
games.
Man. You would have loved it, Adam. I mean, seriously,
there was my bank
what,
account wouldn't have.
Yeah, your bank account would have hated you. I didn't have any money going into it really because I bought the VR before on Craigslist for $300. So $300 out of my $500 budget was gone. But you can't turn down a $300 VR set.
No.
And, I mean, some of the stuff I seen there, though, I mean, it was just awesome to just be able to buy it pretty reasonable price. A lot of people were reasonable and weren't, willing to work with you. I mean, that was the cool thing is like, if you were really going in to find some rare games, you could find them for a pretty good price. That was the awesome
Yeah,
part.
and the other thing that they had was a fully loaded arcade
that was
and
amazing.
pinball that was on free play that was there all the time. I kind of thought that was going to be separate, but luckily it was all in the same
Same
huge
room, yeah.
And they had people who just
That's
did,
where I would have been the whole time.
yeah, well, yeah, and they had.
I thought that too, but I actually just kept on scanning booths, even though I had no money. I had like $100. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
But it was awesome though. Still,
Yeah, and they had let's see. Besides that, they had places where you could buy food, and we were there the whole time it started. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was so much to see. I still saw stuff by the time it was over, and I got a whole bunch of neat, like random things. I saw the limited run guys. We went to their little
the booth.
their booth, but also their their when they
Panel?
speak their panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went to the limited run panel. That was cool. I didn't have one of their games called Breach and Clear, which they had a raffle for, and it was the smallest raffle known to man because there was only like 10 guys. So I thought like, oh, I've got a shot to get this, but I noticed the guy next to me had like 4 tickets, and I only had one. I was like, and I guess he liked more.
You could have
things.
been like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
I know.
I got a golden ticket.
Yeah, it turned out I didn't get squat because I didn't get it, unfortunately. But
Who else did we see there?
Oh,
I mean,
well.
we see.
Well,
some
you
other
guys,
people.
you guys saw the prototypes though, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we saw the NES PlayStation, the Super PlayStation, the
Yep.
Nintendo PlayStation.
the Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah, we seen that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that-
behind like a glass case. So I mean,
Yeah. Then the
and
guy who
gated off around it like a little bit,
Like a
or
little Gatling
ropes.
gun sitting
Yeah.
next to it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the story that probably I'm not going to say correctly was there was a partnership between Sony and Nintendo starting when they were going to create this disc-based system that ended up being the PlayStation. So Nintendo and Sony were going to get together. Sony had no original ideas to starting their own
Yep.
system, and basically, for whatever reason, there you can find the actual story online. The two parted ways, didn't work out. And there was this prototype that they thought was destroyed. Maybe we didn't even really see what it looked like. We didn't know how far into it they got that would
Yeah.
play both Super Nintendo cartridge games and the new disc-based games. Because that partnership went off, Sony ended up saying, hey, we're just going to make our own system. And of course, they're thriving now. They made the PlayStation
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
10 of us.
And then...
Yeah, but Nintendo made a very smart decision. I mean, the CDI.
Oh, Philips CDI.
Yeah, if it,
Yeah.
we never
Oh,
would have
you're
had the
right.
CDI had it not
You're-
been for that.
You're right? They ended up going with Philips.
Yep.
Yeah, Philips.
Instead.
Even though they sort of did, sort of didn't. They just
Yeah, and if-
gave them rights to
If
some
nobody
games, I
knows
think.
what the CDI is, that's my point.
You know what's funny though? This is what's cool about going to a game convention. There's a guy. Not Angry Joe? He's Crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe.
So
yeah.
we ran into this guy named Crazy Joe, which Shane, you were.
I'm a fan of his.
Yeah, you're a
he
fan,
doesn't have a lot. I
subscriber.
mean, he doesn't have a huge amount. So, I mean, he's got to take those subs if I had it for YouTube.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'd be happy, but he's not a huge. But I seen him there. That was really awesome to see.
Yeah, so it's just cool to like. There was a lot of guys, and there's only so many people that know these guys anyway outside of this. Like really, besides Angry Video Game Nerd, no one really crosses into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Anyway, Crazy Joe was there, and he's a cool dude. Like
Yeah.
you meet him for 2 seconds, you're like, oh, this is a guy.
I'd play some video games.
Yeah,
with,
you can play some
drink
video games.
beer
And he's a
with.
little different. Yeah, and he's also like the type of guy like, hey, if I get in a bar fight, this guy's got my back. There's
And-
a little like
and his buddy Nick too. I did a trade with there, so that was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I got the Gunstar Heroes.
Yeah, there was a little like New York, it's just cool. Portland's different. He liked CDI games, and I was like instantly
Yeah.
like, oh, this is a cool dude because he's buying CDI games just for the sake of kind of like picking up a duck before it gets into like an oil spill or something. Like I'm gonna save this thing, and that's what he said. He's like, I gotta save these things. I'm gonna pick up some CDI games, and he knows like the laser active. Like he loves
Yeah.
obscure stuff,
Oh,
and that's
I
why
would
like.
love to get I really like the obscure stuff too. I've been after a laser active forever.
Yeah,
I think
And-
he's got like
Well, no, I actually came into contact briefly with some laser active stuff a couple of months ago, and this lady had two. I'll briefly, for those that don't know,
Yeah,
a laser
what- yeah,
active
yeah,
is
what's the laser
a
active?
is a laser disc player that plays video games. You can get TurboGrafx or Sega CD add-ons. Plus, there were some laser active things that you could get. But anyway, she had the Sega modules for this thing.
Yeah.
Brand new in the box, never used, two of them. And shot her deal off Craigslist and said, "Hey, get back to me. I want to go over and buy those." And oh yeah, we'll do that. Next day, didn't hear anything. And the only thing I can figure is somebody else must have contacted her and offered her more money than her
those
asking
things are
price.
obscure. I don't really know much about it.
Well, that's the thing. I was amazed that somebody else actually even knew what they were.
Yeah.
But I've been looking for those forever.
Yeah,
And
he's got a huge collection.
Every time I
of
go
it.
in a pawn shop or a thrift store or whatever, if there's a late, I go over to the VCRs and quickly scan them, see if there's any laser disc players, see if any of them are laser active.
Yeah, he's got a big collection of that. Who else do we see there? Oh, Casey Game Nerd.
Yeah, Casey the Game Nerd. He's also followed him on YouTube. We've done some trades together. It's kind of cool because you talk to these guys for a while, and he ended up having a booth. It's he was so busy.
Yeah.
He's like when they're selling all this stuff, he kept apologizing, like, "Dude, I'm sorry, I just got to." We saw him at the auction later. We can talk about that in here in a quick second.
Yeah.
They had an auction which was interesting to say the least. Also, their guy Reggie, Radical Reggie, he was there too. Got to meet him and hang out with him for a little bit, just talk to him. And then the other guy that you traded the game with, you already mentioned.
Nick.
Nick. Nick's a cool dude. Kind of walked around with him for a little while. What we'll do is we'll put in the show notes or in the links, we'll put all their YouTube channels. They all have them. Like Reggie really likes like JRPGs, which is really cool. The Crazy Joe's got really obscure videos. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Have you seen
I like
any
his
of
humor.
them?
I haven't seen them. I'll have to look into
They're
him.
just kind of like a little off the wall, but still like freaking funny.
Some
but
video game related. Like I love him and Reggie's Interracial Gamer. They haven't made one here recently. At least I haven't seen it. But man,
that's the name of their show, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not an observation. It's the name of the show.
Yeah, sorry. But either way, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love that show. Casey Game Nerd's got a YouTube. Awesome pickups. Who else got? I mean, all these. It was cool just to be able to meet some of these people that we watch. That it just even some of the smaller guys. That was just really because we're in some of these people were in groups with on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's really cool just to be able to actually talk to them.
There was another guy. He was called Married Guy Gamer. And I've seen him in videos before on YouTube, and I ended up kind of striking a conversation. Told him about like we're going to start up this podcast. So actually, when we went there, we didn't really have this started yet. This was still an idea to do this, and we kind of told him the idea, and it was funny. Him and the other guy working at his booth were kind of like, "Oh yeah, we'd listen to that. It's really cool. Let us know." So we'll also kind of shout out to him. He's got a Facebook group and everything. He's obviously Video Game Dads, Married Guy Gamer. He knows that we're all kind of getting older.
Old collectors.
Yeah, he's real cool. So anyway, we went to an auction.
Yes.
You would have also liked this a lot.
I
He
do
got
like
caught
the
up in the heat.
auctions.
He got caught up in the heat right here.
You think I would?
You would have. He almost did.
I
Tell him the
almost
story.
did.
Do the story
Oh
here.
man. Okay, so this auction, I will say this. I've been to a few auctions, and this auction was kind of weird in terms of how it was set up. They said from the beginning, it's going to take a long time. Auctions always take a long time, but they were going pretty slow through every item, and everything was they weren't taking a cut from it. So, and also you were only dealing with the person that bought it. So your bids are kind of your contract, but they don't like keep your credit card info or anything. So technically, like Adam, if you went in there and you were kind of scummy dude, you could have bid for something and then walked out the back door.
Got out of there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they kind of, and also the guy and the other thing is like, Adam, if you were selling something and I knew you and I was bidding against it, like, I could have bid up something and we wouldn't have known Shane over there. Mm-hmm. And Shane could have bid more knowing that if I would have won it, Adam, we already talked about it, but I'm not going to give you the $1,200 I was going to do. You know, like that could have happened. And I want to say gamers are, especially collectors, we're all in it for just the hobby. We're not trying to scam each other or anything. But what really was weird was the last item.
Yes.
The last item was this Star Fox Super Weekend, which is this competition that happened in the early 90s.
It was the cartridge or the...
No, it was actually it was a banner.
Just a banner.
Just a banner. And it's rare, right? Because I've seen it. So quickly, Star Fox Super Weekend was a limited time contest for the new game Star Fox that came out, where in like Sears or something, you play the game and try to get the highest score.
Yeah, those kind of places.
Yeah, and I ended up playing mine. I actually was in that, and I played in it, which made me kind of interested in the item. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh man, I had a price in my head that was nothing near what it went for. Holy cow. So what was weird was the very last item, some things got kind of expensive. That very last item, two guys in the back that hadn't bid on anything, that didn't look like anybody that I ever saw before. were bidding like back and forth on this item.
Yeah.
And they were like raising their thing, and everybody turned around. And it was how much did it end up going for? It was in the thousands, but like what, 3,000?
Jeez.
Or 1,600?
It was 1,600.
Okay.
It was 1,800 range.
Maybe, but I remember he was saying, but anyway, this thing went for thousands of dollars.
Yes.
And it was not in super shape. It
No.
was kind of rare.
It was
but
flaking
this thing,
a bit, yeah.
This thing, would have sold on eBay, I'm guessing just maybe a couple hundred, maybe.
I don't know. People are crazy nowadays. So it
Yeah.
probably would have, to me, but this thing, I don't know if somebody got caught
Yeah,
up
it
in
seems
the heat,
odd
but,
that some of the
Heat
some
of
of
the
the,
moment.
the banner would go for more than
Well,
the
and it
actual
wasn't
game.
even, it wasn't
Yeah.
a big banner. They had huge banner. Anyway, this thing went for so high that I was talking Casey behind me. He's like, "Yeah, you never know, California money or whatever." But I thought also like, you know what? This is the end of the auction. What if one of those guys is selling? They knew the guy and they just wanted to create a little show.
I don't know.
I just think it was a little part of it seemed a little weird. It just
Perhaps the mafia was involved.
it just didn't make like why the last item and then why that item and why did those two guys wait? I just
It's
think
so rare. That's why.
I don't know.
You'll never see
I
that
think it was
again.
Squirrely. Well, the thing that I almost got caught up in that thankfully I did not win was they had a couple blind boxes.
Yes.
And so they had these 3 blind boxes, which are basically like you don't know what's in it, but it's going to be good stuff. And the first one went for X amount of money, a couple $100, and it had prototypes in it.
Yes,
it
awesome.
had really
Yeah.
good stuff,
Oh,
worth
really?
more
Wow.
than that. So it ended up. I don't know how much it went for, but basically double of what it made.
Yeah, it went from like
300.
two to like 5 to 6. No, the 2 to 4, and then the next one, the one that you bid on, went up to.
Well, it was great because like people don't know I wasn't bidding on a lot, so I bid on the last one.
Yeah.
So one of them went for a couple hundred, the other one went for a couple hundred, and the last one,
Yep.
just threw out a bid because the other ones had prototypes in it. It's going to be at least worth this much. And I think it was it was like $250 maybe.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking like, you know what? I'll try it. Everything else, if anything, I can sell it to the guys right around me immediately to get my money back. If anything, I might be out $50.
Yeah.
Because it had stuff in there, like also like tickets to stuff that's in Portland that we can't use because
Yeah.
we're about to get on a flight in a day or two. So I bid on it, and then no one else was bidding for like 1 or 2 hits, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm about to buy this thing." I was like, "Uh-oh," because I only did 1 bid, and then this guy behind me instantly was like, "All right, I want this to get over with." 500,
Yeah.
right? Didn't he
he
jump it?
bumped it. Yeah, he bumped it. Like
I think he
extra.
jumped it to 450 or 500
Yeah.
for no real good reason because I think the next bid would have won. So it was kind of like a move you do to Peacock a little bit. I don't know the guy. Sorry
Yeah.
if he's like some awesome dude, but it didn't make
You're
much
good.
sense money wise. But it just didn't make much sense for him to do it. But I was like, okay, fine, you win, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, you instantly paid more for no reason. And then the worst part, though,
It was Gretzky 3D hockey.
I like that game.
I did too, actually, but I wouldn't spend $450 on it.
That's a $3 game.
No, it was a wah, wah, wah.
Oh my god! Like this guy was opening it, and you can see the face of basically like
Pure
Yeah,
disappointment.
he bought a Cadillac and he lifted the hood, and there was a chicken inside and a tumbleweed. Like it wasn't that bad, but like what was in there was a lot of random. And they were like, "Oh, DVDs of the previous panels," and they kept saying that's a whatever value, and that's good. That's good and all, but like. If that's one of the bigger things that are in there, and there's only like 5 or 6 things
Yeah.
in there,
There was no prototype.
no
prototype.
prototype, and the some converter thing. I can't remember because
It was a Vectrex. The best thing in there was the Vectrex multi-cart. That was the coolest thing.
That's actually worth like, I don't know.
$150.
No, I don't think quite that much. I think they go for around $100.
Yeah,
Some of them.
but that was the most expensive single
Yeah.
items thing.
and everything else in there would have maybe $160 total in the
Yeah.
whole thing, and he paid like 400.
yeah,
something like
it
that.
was
So,
like Loot Crate style. It was
thank
just
you-
like
yeah.
random crap. I was like,
Thank you,
ooh.
random guy, for saving me from just. I was at that point. I was just getting bored. I was just like, I'm gonna just bid on something. I'm in a foreign land. It's kind of like when you go on vacation, you like spend more money than you would normally at a hotel or a dinner or something
Yeah.
like that. So
So pretty much PRG, if you could go to one convention and you want to spend the money to go to one, I would go there. Even because the guy that came with us, Turok,
Yeah.
he wasn't even he's not even a collector. He just plays, 360, and that's pretty much about it right now. I mean, he's got a few older games, but
yeah, he's just likes video games.
but
He's
he
not
had
crazy.
yeah,
like us.
but he had a tons of fun with the arcade and pinballs and just there was tournaments, like game tournaments and everything also. So it was really awesome.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's enough about how much fun you guys had in Portland without me.
A lot of fun and shout outs. Like we said, we will put the links to all those people that we mentioned in our show notes.
And we'll move on to a little bit of news. We don't have a lot of news. It's kind of slow this week
Yeah.
as far as news goes.
That's okay. It's the holidays, right?
But there's been a new announcement from Nintendo, actually, that's kind of been making some rounds. It's kind of cool.
Tender.
Yeah, and actually, we should say this kind of came from an email, right? Or at least it was
Yeah,
mentioned in an email.
and one of our listeners sent us an article, or actually a link to a YouTube video about this. But Nintendo's announced, and I think it's been in the works for some time, a partnership with Universal Studios, the theme parks, to have Nintendo themed areas in their theme
Yeah.
parks. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Is that like, I don't know, is this going to be like Universal Studio Play to like Disney? Like now they're going to have animated characters sort of like Disney?
Yeah, so I mean, I know I've heard the thing about like why, Disney, dropped the ball, they didn't do this. And I really like Disney, but this makes perfect sense that they didn't do this because these are animated characters, right?
Yeah.
Mario, we're basically starting to talk about Mario. There's other characters, but the big thing is Mario in the world and all these enemies and things and all these things you can create from it. That is an animated character that Disney cannot control, that's outside of the Disney universe, and implanting that in there, knowing that Nintendo is pretty much on their side of the things and they do their things their own way and Disney does their things their own way. That makes perfect sense because Universal, they make some animated films, but they necessarily, when you think Universal, like what do you guys think? I think like the big blockbuster movies.
Yeah, I think
the
just
huge
movies,
summer
that's it.
blockbuster
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, so
But-
it's a perfect move for them, but I could totally see why there's no way Disney would have jumped on this.
No, I think it's going to be really cool, and I've never actually been to any, and I think this is going to be Hollywood, Orlando, and I think the Osaka.
It's going to be
Japan.
Japan.
So it's going to be like their three main places that they do it. So I never have really thought about going to one, but I probably will take my kid at some point. To if we go to Orlando or whatever to see.
I'm thinking opening day, man.
Yeah,
Let's
to-
road trip it.
Whoa, okay.
just to go down there and see it. But the other thing is too, Nintendo's kind of been.
We have to Disney ears. We've got to wear our stupid like Mario hats.
You should wear Disney ears to the Universal thing and see what happens.
you're right. That's the
We'll start a
ultimate
new
troll.
thing like that.
They'll say we're not spies or anything.
Yeah,
Gosh, yeah, that's funny. I have you ever been to any Universal Park?
I've not been to any of them. I've been to Orlando several times, but I've never been to the Universal Studios.
It's kind of good because it's kind of more adult like, and their rides are really fun. And
Yeah.
I love Jurassic Park. Like that's one of my favorite little franchises.
Yep.
And they have a Jurassic Park thing that wasn't there when I was there, or it was just starting up. So I've been wanting to go back. My wife and I, of course, we're having a kid, so who knows when that's going to happen now. But we were planning on going there and getting a timeshare. Shane, you go a lot, right?
No, well, I used
Florida.
to as a kid. Yeah,
Okay.
as a kid, we went a lot before,
But yes,
before.
another good reason I think to go. It's a real neat theme
Yeah,
park.
well, and Nintendo's talked about, or kind of been hinting that they want to get back into the movie business, and
That's what I was
thinking.
thinking.
Have their franchises not just be video games, but be an entertainment, quote unquote.
Well, that's
franchise.
sort of a double dip for Universal.
Yeah.
It seems like, okay, movies, theme park. So a little double dip for them. So
Yeah, I don't
there
know.
you go.
I mean, and all the old Nintendo movies were just great. So why wouldn't they?
They were.
so
Those
so
were
why wouldn't they
amazing.
want to make more?
Yeah, like the one for the Philips CDI.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know why they wouldn't want to make a million more. I mean, people were just demanding Mario Brothers movie part two.
Instead of riding Dumbo, you can ride Luigi.
Well, I think it's just a
Or
really smart
Waluigi.
move, though. It's
Yeah, I
just
think so too.
because-
If they do it right, they're going to make $1 gazillion.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart move. Is because when you think of characters, I think of Disney, and to me, second place comes Nintendo with characters. At least in my opinion. I can't think. What else can you think of character-wise like that? Like when you just think of a brand of like just characters.
Oh, you mean like besides Disney?
Besides Disney, yeah, Nintendo. Like
Yeah, I mean Pixar doesn't count anymore because
yeah,
it's,
because
it's
Disney
part of
bought 'em.
Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's the old timey cartoons that I don't even know if kids watch anymore, like
Yeah.
Jetsons, Flintstones,
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah, Yogi Bear, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I don't
Yeah.
even know plays. Looney Tunes. I don't know if that plays anymore for
No,
kids.
I
It's
mean-
all great
Yeah.
stuff.
So I think it's just a really smart move by
No,
them.
it looks like it'll be pretty cool. Like I said, I'll consider going to one or taking my kid to one, and that's probably not something I would have said, before I knew that
Yeah.
before I knew that information. So it should end up being really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps us up for this podcast. We want to again plug all of our social outlets. So what's our Twitter handle?
Our Twitter is @VideogameDads.
And our email is videogamedads@yahoo.com. And our Facebook is
Facebook.com/videogamedads.
Yeah, please, feel free to email us or hit us up with any questions or information or anything else that you want to know or would like us to discuss and those kinds of things, and we'll see what we can do to accommodate. And we appreciate you listening.
Yes.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank you for the
you guys.
emails. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Episode 2 is in the books.
If you enjoyed that music, please check out Evan King on Bandcamp for further details, and you can download some for yourself. Thank you.
Bye-bye.